Every so often, a sound library lands on the channel that doesn't come from a studio with a whole marketing team behind them and a mailing list. It comes from someone who simply couldn't stop making sounds and eventually ran out of excuses not to share them with us all. And that's exactly the story behind Drift Volume 1 from Konnekta SoundLab. Currently on an introduction sale until the end of April 2026, and if you jump on this early, it comes with several sound design videos teaching users how to get the most out of the pack and simple techniques to convert the sounds into new versions. There are other bonuses as well, which just if you pop over to buy the pack, you will see what other bonuses come with this library. Now, before we get into the sounds themselves, I want to take a moment to introduce you to the person behind this library, because the backstory is actually interesting and very relevant to what you're hearing. Nick, the designer behind Konnekta SoundLab, is a multi-instrumentalist who started on electric organ at the age of 5, went to clarinet, saxophone, piano, pretty much similar to what happened with me actually, because I started on the piano though and went to the organ and picked up the saxophone, so the only difference is didn't get the clarinet. Following that, he, like so many of us in the teenage years, sort of arrived, and with them an obsession with synthesizers. Eventually saved up from a part-time job even, and bought a second-hand Yamaha DX21. And if you know FM synthesis, you already know where this is going, because that machine and FM and the little box, so notoriously unforgiving to program, and I'm sure Nick will be the first to admit that one, but the obsession did stick. And by the early 2010s, he'd built up a real commercial track record in the sound design world. He's got a MIDI chord pack with D-Box samples that actually top the Beatport sound charts, and the Silent Bank, DAW templates for dance MIDI samples, and work for CNTRL. I think it's an offshoot of Sample Magic. So this is not someone who just downloaded a synth last month. There's a heritage behind these sounds. And about 3 years ago, something shifted because Nick became obsessed by two sound designers on YouTube. I'm going to butcher this name, but I know the channel very well. Is Christoph and Yexus, who were doing something fundamentally different with modern hardware synthesizers. The kind of sounds that stop you mid-scroll. And Nick has said he still goes back to Christoph's channel demos just to enjoy them, not for reference, not for study, just for the listening experience. I do something similar with that with Yexus's channel as well. The catch, though, those sounds were being built on hardware that Nick didn't own. So he turned to U-he Diva's synth, and in the process of trying to recreate the aesthetic inside a software instrument, he learnt Diva inside out, not for a library, not for a project, just for himself, and made hundreds of sounds from it, and sounds that he actually wanted to play. And Drift Volume 1 is the curated result of that personal archive. And the aesthetic sits in sort of like lo-fi ambient territory, but with a distinct secondary threads running through it. So you've got vapourwave, synthwave, cinematic textures. There are nods to Buzz Canada in there, and what you'll hear is music that knows its influence without being limited by them. And one thing Nick was intentional about: these are not sound design exercises. These patches are meant to be expressive, playable, and musically useful. And that distinction matters, and it's something we'll be putting to the test throughout this review. So, sorry for the long introduction there, but it was needed for somebody who's sort of like new to striking out on his own. And let's open up Diva and see what Drift Volume 1 actually sounds like. So before we go any further, I've stayed on this page because, first of all, it's easy to navigate the patches, but the second one is on the description. It tells you how to do well, how to learn how to use the synthesizer, in this case Diva. In the sense is it says take the mod wheel to the max position and sweep down to close a filter, cutoff and resonance. So mod wheel up max, and it sweeps the cutoff and resonance down. It says also try turning the mode on the main page from legato to poly. So go to main page, mode legato, I'm going to change that to poly. And according to this, it will give me a classic synth brass patch. So this is a bass patch, but does exactly what it says on the tin. So you'll learn sound design at the same time as going through this library. I'm not going to go through every single patch, and I'm not going to do all the descriptions it tells us to do. Otherwise, we will be here all night. Beautiful sound. So each patch is velocity sensitive because the velocity is set to the cutoff, and your mod wheel is set to LFO1, resonance and filter are FM. Now this patch teaches you how a high pass filter works. Because it's telling us here, turn up the frequency slide on the high pass filter going into the main filter. So this is the high pass filter. Listen to what happens. The sound vanishes as we go up. To be honest, this is probably the first library I've come across that teaches you sound design as you go along. Right, this one says, try changing the oscillator shapes of oscillator 1 and 2 and hear how changing the fundamental shape used, so the triangle, saw, pulse, noise, etc., impact the character of the final sounds. So let's do that. So at the moment, that is on like a peak. We'll change that. is going to be a nod to the boards of Canada, because it says Tourist Board of Canada, so that gives it away. So I've got to turn off different combinations of the LED buttons near VCO1 and VCO2. And that changes the sound completely. On an aptly named patch, Artemis Luna. Landing on the moon. Let's do some pads. Tell you what I missed actually. I've missed a whole set of these down here. LFOs. I like this one because what happens is mod wheel changes the LO2 depth and rate. So we got this, and then as I move the mod wheel forward, I do like the way that's programmed. Let's do what it says. Test the Moog filter. So if I go into this one, I think it's this one. Hang on, let's just read the instructions again. From the VCF drop down. Yeah. So I want the Moog ladder filter. So a different type of sound. Especially if I change the cuts off as well. Now, I'm glad it cuts out there because I'm on a Mac M1 Ultra and it might be because I'm screen recording, running a DAW, running a Diva all at the same time, but it was cutting out. So, first thing to do is change the number of voices. So if I change that to 6, we should be fine. If it isn't, then go into your audio buffer settings for your interface and change it. I think, excuse me, I think I'm on 96. So if I change that to 128, it probably will go away. went away there because I lowered the polyphony to allow the system to catch up. It's a nice pluck, that. So I'm just playing melodies on as I'm doing this sequence, and that sounds really, really rich and nice. It sounds very much like a bit of the Who. If for modern people who don't know who the Who is, if you've ever seen CSI Las Vegas, it's like the beginning of that. So this is an easy one. Detune to 7. So detune, where are we? Hang on, let's just tell me where it is. Oscillator section. That's the oscillator section. Detune is that. There we go. So I'll turn that to 7. Ooh, gone too far there. And if I go to 7, hang on. Been a long day. There we go, 7. So now I'm going to get a 5th. And I can turn it the other way. Should be able to, if I turn it to 4. So there's, like I said, there's a tutorial within this. So this is like a starting palette, in a way. Those infamous starting palettes I always mention. Let's do one more. Cloud memory. Before I press play on this demo I've put together, just a little word is all the sounds you're going to hear are from Drift Volume 1, except for the drums. The drums I've added for context and they come from Play Beats. So if you think this library has drums, that's a separate VST, but I thought by the time I'd done this track, I thought it needed some percussion, so that's why I've added it. The rest of the sounds, as you see, that's in the colours, they are all from Drift Volume 1. So that's Drift Volume 1 from Konnekta SoundLab. And what strikes me most about this library is the consistency of intent throughout. These are sounds built from a genuine musical perspective, not assembled to fill a product brief. And Nick's made them because he wanted to hear them and play them, and that comes through with these patches. The lo-fi ambient centre of gravity is absolutely there, but the vaporwave and synthwave edges give it a range alongside the cinematic undercurrent, and it makes it generally useful across more than one context. So if you're scoring anything with emotional weight or working in evolving textural territory, there's material here that will earn its place in your sessions. The patches are expressive, velocity responsive, mod wheel behaviour, and the organic movement built into many of these sounds mean they respond like instruments, not presets. For a debut commercial library under his own name, this is a seriously confident first entry, and knowing that there's already a deep personal archive behind this, well, the implications for future volumes are, well, they're going to be interesting to see what comes down the line. Drift Volume 1 is available now, and the link is in the description below, and if you're a Diva user working in ambient, lo-fi or cinematic territory, then go and buy it. You will not be disappointed. If this video was useful, do subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more library content coming and synth tutorials, and if you've already spent time with Drift, do leave a comment below. I'd be genuinely curious to hear what you're finding about it, basically. What do you like about the sounds? Until next time, stay creative, stay sonic, and I will catch you in the next one.